Good morning and a happy Friday, Franklin Middle School students and staff. We're going to be with you a couple of minutes this morning as we review the Iowa Statewide Assessment of Student Progress, what used to be called the Iowa Assessments, that will occupy our time next week. So buckle up, we're going to go through some information about what makes this year's assessments different than past years. I want to provide you with a few calendar details for this year's tests. All students are going to test next week, beginning on Tuesday, April 2nd through Thursday, April 4th. The tests for all students are in the areas of math, reading, and LA and writing. However, 8th grade only will take a science test, and that'll be on Friday, April 5th. In just a little bit, we're going to go over the slide as far as what the schedule will look like for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for all students. Now, not only is the name of the assessment different this year from Iowa Assessments to the Iowa Statewide Assessment of Student Progress, but there's also going to be some noticeable difference when you start the test next week, and we've kind of indicated a few of them here on this slide. First of all, the tests are untimed. Now, what that means is students are continually making progress to finish, but you will no longer be tied to finishing within 25 or 30 minutes. And in just a little bit, you're going to see how much time we are allowing for each and every single test. But again, students, as long as you are making progress towards finishing, you will have unlimited time within a span of one day to make sure that you get your test all the way completed through your 100% effort. Also, there's a writing component to this year's test. Now, the LA writing component, you're going to take a look at different language arts pieces, but it's also going to ask for some different writing prompts. Now, within your language arts classes, your teachers have probably worked with you on some skills that will benefit for this year's assessments, looking a little bit different because you will actually write within paragraphs and essays with this year's tests. And also, for the math and 8th graders for the science tests, you will be able to use calculators. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the materials that you need to bring to this year's assessments, but it's important that on the days that you're taking the math or science for 8th grade as well, it's important that if you own a calculator, to bring that calculator here to school. So those are the major testing differences for this year's assessments. All right, now we wanted to share with you the schedule for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Similar to what we've done in previous years, we're going to start the first part of the day with testing. So if you take a look at that first column there along the left, it talks about the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday schedule as far as how that's going to look. Now, students, I can't emphasize enough how important it is for you to be on time each and every single day next week. Now, as you can see, we'll be in homerooms to start the day, so when you get here and the bell rings, you go directly to your homeroom. That testing will go from 7:50 until 10:10. Again, just like the next slide, we'll talk through which test you'll be taking. But after the homerooms, you will then go through the following schedules: periods 1, 3, 5, 6, 4, 7, and 8. It's only a little bit different on Wednesday because we will also have the spring play teaser that'll happen during that 10:45 to 11:12 time slot. But again, it's important that you're going to be here on time. Students that show up late after testing has started, you will actually need to wait until the testing period has ended. So it's not going to be any fun. It's going to be a long, boring time if you get here after testing has started. So again, I can't emphasize enough for you to be on time beginning next week for the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday test. Now, on Friday, it's a little bit different. As I mentioned in a previous slide, only 8th grade will be testing on Friday, and that's for the science test. So 6th and 7th graders, you will follow a normal 250 schedule. However, 8th grade, you will start the morning in your homerooms testing in the area of science. Now, expanding opportunities and TASL students, those 8th graders that are at Washington and Kennedy, your parents were emailed on Wednesday evening as far as what your days are going to look like. So please make sure you check with them or check with your teachers at your respective high schools as far as what your testing will look like on all those days, in particular on Friday. You will start at your high schools. All right, and here is the schedule of tests. Now, we are not going to be on a building-wide schedule where everybody is taking the same test at the same time, and that's due to the amount of resources that we have or do not have available to us. So Monday, there's no testing. In just a little bit, I'm going to talk about our annual pancake breakfast that's going to be held on Monday. But on Tuesday, as you can see, 6th grade is going to start with the math test. 7th grade will start with the reading test, and 8th grade with the LA and writing. And as you can see, all tests, with the exception of the LA writing, is 75 minutes. We will start each morning at 8:10 for those tests, and you will test consecutively for 75 minutes. The LA writing is a longer test. Now it'll be 2 hours with a little break embedded in there for you, but that test is 2 hours long. So as you can see, 6th grade will go in the order of math on Tuesday, LA writing on Wednesday and reading on Thursday. 7th grade will start with reading on Tuesday, math on Wednesday, and LA writing on Thursday. Then 8th grade will start on Tuesday with the LA writing, Wednesday with the reading, and Thursday with math, and Friday with science. Again, you can see those testing the subjects as well as the time that's going to be allotted for those. Again, we had talked about this being untimed. Again, students need to be making progress. You just can't sit there and not do anything for that duration of time. So it's important that students, as we always say, that you do your personal best with each and every single one of these tests. But it's also important that you have your appropriate materials. Now, students that need additional time, your teachers are going to walk through if you need additional time as far as where those locations are going to be by each grade level. But again, that may or may not involve you. I'm guessing the majority of you are going to finish on time, but some of you do not rush to get your assessments done in the time frame that we allot. If you need more time, we'll kind of direct you to those locations of where you're going to be until you can get those tests finished. All right, now it's important to talk about what I think is one of the best days of the year, only because I love pancakes. Our business partner, Alliant Energy, again, is sponsoring a pancake breakfast this year. That'll be on Monday, April 1st. Now, grade levels are going to eat at different times, with 6th grade starting off at approximately 8:20 in the morning, but then 7th grade and then 8th. It's going to be an exciting time because of the fact that everybody will be provided this breakfast. You will eat in the cafeteria, and this year, I know we ran short a little bit on pancakes last year because each person only got one. This year, Alliant was gracious enough to provide enough for 2 pancakes for each person. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but it's going to be extremely important next week when you get to school and we go through our lines. Please use your manners. Alliant is spending a lot of money making sure that we have enough food for all of our students, but also they're also providing volunteers that are going to help serve you. So we always love it when guests come in the building, and we're always fortunate that you're on your best behavior to see, so volunteers in the area can see exactly what a Franklin Middle School student and how we behave. So again, we're looking forward to that on Monday. I make sure students, you're here on time to make sure you're part of the pancake breakfast. Again, all this is courtesy of our business partners at Alliant, and we really want to thank them for that. It's also going to be important that you have the following materials for next week. Number 2 pencil. We'll also provide you with pencils, but students, it's important maybe to have a backup or a spare. If you have your own calculator, please bring a calculator. Now, we're going to have enough for everybody when you take those math tests or the science test for 8th grade, but if you have a calculator, please make sure that you bring it on the appropriate day. And also have something that you can work on, like a free read book, if you finish early. We do not want you bored or disrupting the testing environment of others, so please make sure that you have something, if you do finish early and after you review your work, something that's going to keep you busy, something that's going to keep you quiet, so everybody else has the same respectable testing environment. All right, now we always want to end with the importance of these assessments. Now, nobody likes to test. I think that's pretty clear. And as in the past years, Mr. Baylor and myself have gone through to stress the importance of taking these tests serious. Again, nobody likes to test, but these are things that we are required to do, and we want students, again, to do your personal best. So I want to go through a couple of things of why the Iowa statewide assessment of student progress is important. First of all is the acronym there that says ESSA. That stands for Every Student Succeeds Act. Now, there's classifications that certain buildings get based upon results of how our students do on the assessments. Now, this year, even though there's room for growth, we want to make sure that we're performing at our best. So those people that look at how our students do, whether it be from a city level, from a district level, from a state level, they get an accurate representation of how students at Franklin Middle School are performing. So it's important from a global standpoint from the state of Iowa that we do our personal best in every single test. However, what focuses more on you as the individual student are the next couple things. Now, we don't expect every student to get every question right and to perform in the 99th percentile and to have the highest national standardized score. We know that every single one of you are on your own level. But what we want to make sure that every student does is meet their growth. You want to grow every single year in regards to how you are testing and your amount of proficiency, which means you are going at or above where you're expected to be at your grade level. But what we want to make sure that every student does is grow each and every single year. And we want you to grow as much as possible, and that's only done by you taking these tests serious. And lastly, is the selection criteria for not only Franklin classes, but also high school classes. It's important to do your personal best so we get an accurate depiction of you. So when you go to take classes, you are taking classes at your ability level. If you slug off these tests and don't do your personal best, you might find yourself in a class that doesn't challenge you. So we want to make sure that you're doing the best work possible next week. Now we're excited for this work ahead. You're going to find that this test is a little bit different. We ask for your patience as we go through it, but I'm really looking forward to each and every single one of you doing your personal best next week for our assessments. Have a fantastic Friday, and we'll see you Monday at the Pancake Breakfast.